We recently just reviewed the brand new Mitsubishi Outlander. If you haven't watched that video, click on the link below. I'll also add a link right here in the top corner. Well, hot on the heels of that brand new launch is another new vehicle from Mitsubishi. Maybe the Outlander is a little bit too big for you. Maybe the RVR is a little bit small. So right in the middle, in the sweet spot for you is the new Eclipse Cross. And for 2022, it has some significant updates. This is definitely more than just a facelift for this 2022 edition of the Eclipse Cross. Starting from the front end, you'll notice now you get these wraparound or contoured daytime running lights. They're LED, and this is where the headlamps used to be. They've been moved down right below here. There are 4 trim levels in Canada, and there's the ES, the SE, SEL, and GT trim. That's the one we have here. The SEL and GT trims get standard LED headlamps, where the other ones get halogen. Wheel size is 18-inch across the board on all models. However, the GT does get its own specific wheel. This does have the fast key, the proximity key, and power folding mirrors. They're also heated as well. And that comes standard on anything above the ES, the base trim. I would highly recommend that you go into that SE trim, just at least that trim. It's only about $2,600 more. You get those 2 features and a lot more. Moving on to the back, well, we're gonna go sit in the back in a second, but here's another big change. Notice anything different with this new one compared to the previous version? That's right. Only one piece of glass now. The previous version had a split kind of tailgate. There was a section that kind of separated the glass, so you had a kind of a little window on the bottom here. And I don't know if it was an optical illusion or not, but because of it, it looked like the back end, in my opinion, looked like it was kind of jacked up. It didn't look very sporty compared to this. This is a much more cohesive design. It still has that angular, unique Eclipse Cross look. However, everything just works better. All the angles are kind of smoothed out here. Now, onto the back here, we open it up. It is not a power liftgate, but most of all the vehicles in this class do not come with a power liftgate. This vehicle is now 105 millimeters longer, and they made that in the back end, so you get more room. Here's an example here. This is a 90 quart or 85 liter cooler, big rolling cooler. So this is how big it is. There's my camera bag here, but there's plenty of room to spare. If you see here, a lot more room in the front here and more room on the side. And of course, if you do need more room, you can just fold those second row seats down. Some nice changes on the interior of the Eclipse Cross as well. Starting from the seats, this is the GT trim. This has this light gray leather. You can go to a faux suede type of leather on the SEL trim, and the trims below that get cloth seats. All models get heated front seats in Canada as well. On the SEL and above, you get heated rear seats. And all but the base model get a leather heated steering wheel. The base model does not get a heated steering wheel, nor is it a leather wrapped wheel either. Another reason to go up that one grade walk to that SE trim. Like I said, you do get a lot more content for that, and it's only like $2,600. Up front, a brand new head unit. Up from 7-inch, now it's an 8-inch unit, standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And now for the GT trim, you have embedded TomTom navigation. One thing that I do like about this system though, is it's super responsive, very quick. I've used a lot of systems, and there seems a lot of times there is a little bit of a delay when you actually touch the screen and move to different pages. This is almost instant. This GT trim also comes with a round view monitor, so a 360 camera. One thing that I have noticed is this new screen, I find that it's raked back a little bit far for me. I'm not getting any glare from it, but it's capturing a lot of ambient light around it as well. So it's kind of washing out a little bit of the graphics and the color of the graphics. Down below, you have a dual zone climate control. That's standard across the board other than the base model. You have 2 USBs. There is no wireless charging on here though. You have electric parking brake and you have the auto hold. Love that feature. Just you hit that button and you can just take your foot off the brake when you're at a stoplight and you just hit the accelerator and off you go again. A head-up display is standard on SEL and the GT trim, so they've brought it down now. You don't have to get the top trim to get that head-up display, and that is nice. Now this is the one that actually pops out from the dash. It has a very clean look actually, and it's very easy to use with dedicated buttons right by the steering wheel. Above us, you have a 2-pane panoramic roof with a power shade. Also new and only available on the top GT trim is the Mitsubishi Power Sound System. So that is their own designed audio system, and it sounds pretty good. Overall, I think Mitsubishi's done a great job upgrading this interior. So let's have a look in the back. There is room for 3 in the back here, a small little hump. I did mention these are heated rear seats. Now these seat backs though, there is a lever here, and this is how you would fold the seat down. As we mentioned, to get more cargo area. It doesn't fold completely flat, but fairly flat. But also what it's good for is you can adjust the angle of your seat back almost infinitely. As you can see here, I'm just going by little increments here. So it's nice that it's not just like 1 or 2 settings of angle. So I kind of find all the way back is a little bit too much for me, depending how you feel. So let's try about there. Yeah, that fits me better. But if you want, you can actually put it farther back. Leg room is ample for sure. Remember what size of vehicle this is. This is not a large vehicle, so you have to have your expectations in check, but I'm actually quite impressed of how much leg room. There is decent amount of foot room. I can raise my feet up and down. There is storage on the seat back here. In the middle, there is a armrest with 2 drink holders. And once again, this does not come on the base ES. Another reason, get that SE trim at least. But yeah, headroom, my head is not touching, and you would think that it'd be it's quite tight because of the rake of the roof, but it's not too bad at all. Not bad at all. And it's nice to have this other glass in the back here. It just kind of lightens things up and makes it feel a little bit more airy. Let's go for a drive. The Eclipse Cross is powered by a direct injected 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It puts 152 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Nice thing about this engine, even though it's turbocharged, it uses regular unleaded fuel, so that'll help save a little bit at the pumps. Power goes through a 8-step CVT, or continuously variable transmission. 8 steps, meaning it emulates real gears or actual gears. And you actually have some nice metal paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. These are actually nicer paddle shifters than some sports cars that with some dual clutch transmissions actually have. So if you want to use the paddles even in regular drive mode, if you want to put it into manual mode, it does make an incredible difference in the way that it drives. First of all, you can let it hold gears or use the engine to use it for braking, for instance, and that's really handy. Right now we're going down a hill. Perhaps maybe you're going down a long mountainous downhill. You might want to use that to help slow the vehicle down. So that is available, but also let's just go get a little opening here. This is kind of funny. I changed the sound, and I thought I was changing the sound of the beeps of the system, and it's actually changed the sound of the turn signal. I'm not going to change it back right now, but it's kind of silly. Listen to it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, this is a CVT. There are kinda shifts happening, but it does have that kind of wind-up effect that's synonymous with a lot of CVTs. But when you do get in the meaty range, and I'm talking around 4,000 RPM and up, try the brakes out. It really does have very good pickup and good mid-range power. Now off the line, let's go and see what this can do. Here we go. To the floor. You can hear it's kind of shifting, and we are at 100, just over 100 kilometers per hour. We were going up a hill though, but that gives you a rough idea of the type of acceleration you get. In manual mode, it's actually has a little bit of a growl to it. Let's put it right back just into regular drive mode and see what it would be like for the mode that most people would drive in. It definitely is softened a lot in terms of power delivery, and it all has to do with that transmission of where it's set, those set points that it's got. Regardless of trim, they all come standard with Mitsubishi's super all-wheel control. So that's all-wheel drive. It controls not just front and back, but it also uses the ABS system and the yaw control to distribute power from side to side as well. So that's not only good for wet weather or bad weather, it's also good for regular handling. If you are just taking corners, it just helps it rotate better. You do have a button, a s-awc button. If we select that, you can see it changes. There are 3 different modes. There's normal, snow, and then there's gravel. And that's going to change how the power is delivered, and also the threshold of how much it's going to let you spin. Because sometimes you do want to spin more, let's say if you're trying to get out of a stuck situation in snow maybe. that signal light is actually quite funny. They should actually make it so you can actually change it to whatever you want. Something like maybe an app on your phone. Okay, I gotta turn this off. It's kind of silly. There are a lot of standard safety features on the Eclipse Cross. If you want to see the whole list of them, just go to the Mitsubishi website. It's really, really long. But you get also things like frontal collision mitigation and lane departure warning. And then if you go up from the base model, you get, of course, all of that. And you also get rear cross traffic alert and blind spot warning. One thing I didn't mention when we were talking about the inside, and this has nothing to do with the drive, well, it kind of does. It makes the experience better, in my opinion, is in the previous Eclipse Cross, the head unit or radio used this sliding system. And I don't know why manufacturers just don't get it. It's not intuitive. People don't like it. So anyways, they've listened, and we actually have a volume knob again. Thank you very much, Mitsubishi. I mentioned on the previous Eclipse Cross that I was a fan of the camera button on the steering wheel. Well, I'm glad they didn't move it. This new vehicle also has the camera button right on the left side of the steering wheel. You hit that button and it goes right to your camera view for your head unit, and it's just really nice. Sometimes you are not backing up and you just want to see around you, especially if you have the GT trim with the round view monitor. It also saves on rims too if you're parking really close to curbs and things. They also worked extensively on the handling of this Eclipse Cross. The previous one, it was a little bit vague in the steering, in just general handling, and this one, they've basically stiffened it up a lot. They've retuned the suspension. You get larger shock absorbers in the rear. They've tweaked the steering, and it is noticeable. You do get a better on-center feel on this vehicle. And overall, it's not a sports vehicle by any means, but it does have a nice planted feel, and it's very predictable of where you place the vehicle and what it's going to do. The more that I drive this, the more actually I like it. I like the size of it, and you kind of get used to different vehicles act differently or have different characters with the CVT, and it's quite peppy. It's very, very torquey. So let's get into price now. The base ES trim starts at $28,500, and these are Canadian dollars, by the way. You go up from there to the SE. Now that's the one I said that you really should get because it's only $2,600 more and you get so much more content for that $2,600. I think that is definitely going to be the volume seller. Next is the SEL trim that comes in at just over $34,000. And if you want the top GT trim like we have right here, it's going to run you just under $37,000. But remember, all Mitsubishis come with pretty well the best powertrain warranty in the biz, 10 years and 160,000 kilometers, which should give you some added peace of mind. So what do you think of this new Eclipse Cross? Leave a comment below, let me know. Did they do enough? I think they did a great job. I like the styling, much better than the old one. The driving dynamics are better. You have better creature comforts in here, more comfortable seats, more premium materials. And I don't know if the old one had it, but you have a choice of signal indicator sounds now. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on the next Everyday Reviews. Safe driving.